with us here this evening, what you would expect for your child. So we want to take the next 45 minutes or so and give you a glimpse of what to expect in the next couple of months as we prepare for January the 18th at 7 p.m. So with that, I do want to turn it back over to Mr. Ring. But again, if there are any specific questions, put them in the chat, and we will try to make sure that those questions are answered as succinctly as possible. With that, Mr. Green, I turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Solomon. Joining us tonight, too, is also one of our assistant principals, Ms. Failing. She's going to be answering a lot of the questions in the chat. And also Sarah Oxendine, one of the other counselors who's, she and I are the co-chairs this year for the graduation ceremony. So she'll be doing some talking along with myself. I'm just going to hit the dates here for right now, just nuts and bolts real quick. The mid-year ceremony will be held on Tuesday, January the 18th at 7 o'clock at the high school. And we will have a sort of a light refreshment reception after the ceremony to celebrate your students' accomplishment. And we are still not sure about the number of tickets, but we'll get that information out as soon as we know that. You're going to talk. Okay, so I really encourage parents and students to check for email updates to the student school email address from LRHS graduation email address. And if you have questions about graduation, that's probably the best place to email questions. Ms. Oxendine and I are both checking that email address, and we can answer questions as well. I'd also like the students to join the Remind group. I have put the code there for the Remind group. There is a way for the students to join that through their phone number. So I would really encourage them to do that, and I'm going to probably, for lack of a better term, pester them until they do, because that's really the best way for us to send out information to students, updates, because we know that students check their phone probably and text messages a lot quicker than they do their email. So please look at that Remind group code. Once I have everybody's cell phone number through another survey I'm going to talk about in just a minute, I'll send out an invite to that Remind code. But just make sure that you check your school email and please join that Remind code, because we want to make sure that we get the information that you need to you in a timely fashion.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have established and published at the link here a mid-year graduation bulletin, and this will flesh out in greater detail some of the highlights we're hitting this evening. I'll share with you what it looks like. Again, I'm not going to go over every little bit, but we have, as you can see, there's a calendar of dates and deadlines, when various things are due, when various activities are occurring. Can you guys see that? Can someone put in the chat?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. I'm toggling through several things, so bear with me. And then even more so than just a listing of the dates, we've gone into a little bit more detail. And we're going to hit on some of these things tonight. There are some live links throughout this mid-year graduation bulletin. Links.
Ms. Oxendine, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Ordering tab, links if you need to pay fines and fees. The exam schedule's in here. So
Ms. Oxendine,
cap and gown. Again, we're going to hit some of these highlights throughout this presentation tonight, but I did want you to know where you could go to get even more detailed information. And this will be very helpful to you as graduation approaches, so that you know what is expected of you, and so that you can be a part of all the surrounding activities. So
Ms.
that's the mid-year
Oxendine.
graduation bulletin. It is linked through this presentation, and we will certainly have it posted on several places on our websites.
Okay, it's back to me. Just need to talk with people about people that are starting college. So if your plan is to start college full time, that means you're going to, graduate and you want to go to college full time. Now, whether that be Wake Tech.
They can't see the presentation and excuse me.
Okay, hold on. We're still working out a couple tech glitches there. But anyway, if you're going to start college in January full time, then we have to arrange for you to take your exams early because, as y'all know, first semester doesn't end until the middle of January. So there's a little bit of a glitch sometimes, between you starting college full time and then still trying to finish high school. So we are able to get permission to take your exams early, but in order for me to do that, you have to get to me an acceptance letter from your college by December the 1st. Now, this can't be an email where you've applied and they say, thank you for applying. It has to be the letter that says, congratulations, you've been accepted as a full-time college student in January. If it doesn't say that, then I'm gonna have to have you go back and get that for me before I can arrange for your exams to be taken early in December. And those exams would take place usually around the week of the 13th of December is the week this year. And we've got this spelled out in your bulletin, and we've got it here in the PowerPoint as well. And then once that gets approved, then I will work with your teachers. I will work with you to take your exams early. One thing about this is you need to make sure that you're passing your classes. So if you're trying to start college full time in January and let's say something doesn't work out and you don't end up having a passing grade by the time, December comes around, then you'll need to keep working on your class. And then you won't graduate until, mid-January, mid-year in mid-January. So it's going to be important for you to stay on top of your grades. And if you're planning to start college full time, they've been accepted and we arrange for you to take your exams early, got to make sure that you do have a passing grade in the classes that you need to graduate. Okay, so only people who are starting college full time in January can take their exams early. If you're, just planning to work for a few months or some other thing when you finish high school, then you'll have to take your exams in with everybody else in mid-January. So only people starting college full time can take their exams in December. Okay, so CCP, that's a college and career prep program. We have a lot of students enrolled in that currently, and it could be that some of the early graduates are enrolled in those classes too. CCP are classes that students can take for free while in high school, and you get high school and college credit for them. So if you're a mid-year graduate and you've already started taking those, that's great. If this is something that you would like to do, then you can sign up for spring classes. If you've not taken a CCP class yet and you're thinking you're going to go to Wake Tech for college, or you'd like to go to Wake Tech in the spring after you finish Leesville and take a college class and start your college transcript, then that's an option for you. The advantage of this is that CCP classes are free. So if you are currently taking CCP classes, you can continue to do that and take those free, and they'll be free for you even though when you graduate from Leesville. But to do that, you have to be enrolled here at Leesville until the middle of January. You can't graduate early or take your exams in December. If you take your exams in December, and you want to be full-time, you have to let Wake Tech know that you're coming out of the CC program and you're going to go to Wake Tech full-time. If you're new to CCP, the advantage is that graduate in January, be done with Leesville, and then you can still take those free CCP classes at Wake Tech. So that's a great opportunity for people who aren't planning to start college full-time or work full-time come January. You can go ahead and get a head start on your college credits for free for all next semester at Wake Tech. So if you have questions about that, I'm the CCC person here at Leesville, and I can help walk you through that. There is a flyer on the school's website. The link in this PowerPoint, the little green here, takes you to that, but I'm not going to have Ms. Oxenden click on that right now. But that takes you to the CCP flyer that's on the main page of the website. And if you have questions about that, then you need to let me know. Now, keep in mind, if you do that, there will be a little bit of an overlap between you starting your classes at Wake Tech in January and you finishing high school here. But it's only going to be probably maybe 2 weeks, if that much overlap. And by that time, your class at Leesville is going to be winding down. Hopefully, you'll be in good academic standing and you'll be able to do both at the same time. I've had several students since CCP came around who have done this, and it's not been a problem. Them trying to finish high school and go ahead and start their CCP. It's just a really great program in a way for you to get some free college credits. So if you have questions about that, you just email me and let me know. So if you are going to start if you're going to work or go in the military or just take some time off from life and just take it easy for a few months, you have to take your exams at the end of first semester, and that's going to be in the middle of January. The only exception to that would be if you are going to enlist in the military and you have a deployment or enlistment date, that's early January. If you give me documentation of that, I can work to have your exams done in December. But again, I would need something from your recruiter or your enlistment person saying, hey, this person's going to be, enlist on January 10th and needs their exams early. So I would need something like that for if you're thinking about going into the military. And I'm going to let Ms. Oxenden talk about caps and gowns.
Okay. Here we have the link in that second bullet. That link should take you to what we are calling the core package or the basics package. That contains the items that you must have in order to participate in graduation. That's your cap, gown, stole, diploma cover, senior fee. That's like the core package that you have to get. We really need these orders placed for mid-year graduates by the middle of this month, so that we can ensure delivery and distribution to you guys before the January 18th ceremony. The week of January the 10th through the 14th, we will have received those items from Jostens, and they will be available here in Student Services for you guys to come pick up. So that's the Jostens caps and gowns. I did want to let you know on October 20th, which is a Wednesday, I believe. Jostens will be here during both lunches in the main lobby for anyone who needs assistance with ordering their products. If you have any questions, there will be live representatives here on campus October the 20th during both lunches. Last year during COVID, a lot of this ordering moved online, and that seemed to work really well. So we're moving forward with that. But we definitely will have some people here. And if you prefer the paper order form, they can help you with that and everything along those lines. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what you will wear underneath your caps and gowns. Of course, that's the main thing that everyone is going to see. So the idea here is that we don't want anything else distracting from the look of a graduate. So for our ladies, in addition to the cap, gown, and stole that you will be wearing, just wear simple dark shoes, nothing with a cork bottom, nothing with a bunch of sparkles. Please make sure they are easy to walk in shoes and comfortable. That would be my biggest suggestion to you. I've seen a lot of blisters over the years. I've seen some feet and toes come out of very strappy shoes. So, just wear something that's comfortable and practical to move around in, and a dark color definitely looks best. In terms of what you wear underneath your gown, you may wear a dress or a blouse and a skirt, but it should not extend beyond the bottom of your gown. You may also opt to wear dark slacks and a blouse. And of course, in that case, the slacks would extend beyond the gown. So that is for our ladies. Gentlemen, in addition to your cap, gown, and stole, you need to wear dark dress shoes, black socks and pants, a white button-down shirt, and a dark tie. We have a lot of students who over the years have wanted to wear like a red tie because yes, we understand that's very stately, but that is going to detract from the overall look of your graduation garb. So please wear a dark tie. And the dark dress shoes, they can be like a dark brown is fine. I know that's very stylish right now, or of course a black. This would be something a little dressier than like your topsiders or Sperry's or something along those lines. A military uniform, and this goes along with their own guidelines in the military. A military uniform is not to be covered up by anything else. So that being said, you should not wear a military uniform under your cap and gown. A few things that we just wanted to highlight that are not permitted. No denim, so no jeans of any type, no sneakers, and no flip-flops. Yes, we understand the comfort there, but we want this to be a dignified ceremony and everyone look nice. We also do not let, I've already been asked this several times, we do not let students decorate their caps. I know that's fun and we've seen it online, especially at college graduations where there's feathers and sparkles and all sorts of bedazzling that has been done. But should you show up to the ceremony with a decked out cap, we will trade it for a plain one. The tassel is all we really need to see because that is what this ceremony is all about.
Okay, just a couple things, and Mr. Solomon's going to mention something about this too. Once you participate in the January ceremony, these are the rules that apply. Mr. Solomon, would you want to comment on this slide?
If I could have you just go ahead and go through it, Mr. Green, and I will just emphasize the high points. Can everyone hear me? Okay, I'm not sure what we have going on, so I'll just go ahead and take this. Not sure exactly what's going on. After you graduate, and the operative word is you are a graduate, from the January ceremony on, you will be a guest on campus, meaning that you met your graduation requirements and you're no longer a student. So that being the case, we treat you like a guest, meaning that, you know, when you come to campus, you have to sign in, you have to state your business and conduct yourself in that manner. Also, once you graduate, the prom is not an option at that time for you because you have completed your responsibilities and what is needed to graduate. So want to make sure that people are fully and clearly aware of what happens when you graduate at that time because you have met all the requirements necessary to move forward. So I just want to make sure that that is taken into account. There's a question in the chat about picking up your yearbooks. All of that will be taken care of, and there will be an assigned time for you to be able to secure those. So just want to make sure that that is addressed as well. All right, Mr. Green, back to you.
Okay, so you got to make sure, as I mentioned before, you got to make sure that you complete your academic work. So I know it's exciting and y'all are ready to move on to the next step of your life, but you need to make sure that you keep serious about your academics and make sure you get what you need to graduate. The counselors are aware of what you need to graduate. Most of you hopefully have had your senior conference with your counselor. If you've not, I encourage you to email them and set that up. We've been doing those for about a month now. So make sure that if you haven't had your senior conference, make sure you do that as soon as possible. And that's available for in person for the students that are here at the school and virtually for the kids that are through VA. But you've got to make sure that you pass. And then if you owe any money to the school, you're going to have to take care of that. And those are all things that we will remind you of. But if you have questions about any of that, I put the email address into the chat for LRHS-graduation at WakeCountyPublicSchoolSystem.net. And I've seen a lot of questions in the chat about Jostens, tassels, real specific things. And Ms. Oxendine, we're in close contact with the Jostens representative, and he gives us an answer as soon as we email him. So any questions you have about any of the cap and gown stuff, just email that email address and we will just trust that we will answer your question for you. So here's our things to do list. This is our big topic right here. So we've put links here for all of this. And just if people who have joined late, I meant to say this earlier, if you joined us a little bit late, we are recording this session and we will post it on the Leesville High School Everything 2022 part of the school's website. And then I will also send it to every student email address. And I will work to send that to every parent email that we have on file too, so that you have a copy of this and you can click on these links. But when we get done, I'm going to share my screen and show you we're on the school website where you can find all of this information all in one place. So things to do. You got to order your cap and gown. We've talked about that. We know how to tell the people at Jostens who needs it earlier. We sent him a list of people that are going to graduate mid-year, and he knows to get those to us by the time that graduation happens. So don't worry about that. But you got to do your part and order it. It's really important that we know how to say your name. So make sure there's a link on here, and I'll show you where it is on the main web page. Where we need to know how to say your name. There's a way for you to spell it very specifically. We've even got a way for you to record how it sounds, so that the assistant principals or whoever is going to reading your name at the mid-year graduation knows how to pronounce it. So please make sure you fill that out. We've also got another form. There's a link to this, and it's really important that you fill this out, because this is where we get your information about your email address, your personal one, your parents' information, their phone number. Have you ordered your cap and gown? Have you done other things to prepare for graduation? And by filling out that form, then I know, and Ms. Oxendine knows, who has done what. And for those of you who we haven't checked off every box, we're going to get you and talk to you and make sure that you do it, because we need to know this information so we can make sure that everything is set and we're not rushing around at the very last minute to get you all set to graduate at January. So I'm going to show you where these forms are in just a second. Please sign up for the Remind group, which I already mentioned, and the code is in this slideshow. And also a big part of filling out this form that I just talked about is that's where you're going to put your cell number for me, so that I can send you and set up the Remind group and send you messages as often as we feel like we need to. Hey, remember, Jostens is coming tomorrow if you have questions. Hey, you've not filled out your name confirmation form. And those are things that I can do. I can send individual messages to each of you to make sure that you know what you need to do, because we want this to be an unstressful time for you and for us. We want this to be a celebratory time, and the best way to do that, I can tell you guys, is just to don't procrastinate. Just do it like as soon as possible. And if you check off all these little boxes, then your stress level is going to go way down, and so will mine, and so will Miss Oxendine's, and so will Mr. Solomon's. Well, it'll go way down. So we want you to do that, but no, we are here to support you 24/7. Okay. And also be sure that I send out things to email too. So I know a lot of kids don't seem to check their school email very much, but please do, because that's really important, because sometimes I will send things out. If it's too much to send in a remind, I'm going to send you an email. And probably what I would send you through remind is say, hey, check your school email, because it's too much for me to type in the remind thing. So make sure you are checking your school email on a regular basis. So that's the end of our slide presentation show. So we've covered a lot of information. If you have questions, I've been looking at the chat. If you want to post a question there, all of us I believe are now looking at the chat. Before we do that though, I did want to show you some things on the main page of the school's website. So I'm gonna, if Ms. Oxendine will stop sharing her screen, I'm gonna share mine. Okay. Okay, here's my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the main page of the school's website, and basically right here, everything senior is right here, this link, and that's, we're going to probably keep that up there. It's going to be sort of a hot topic, you know, for most of the school year. It might go down a little bit down the categories, but it's always going to probably be somewhere around this Pride News section so that people have easy access to it. So if you go there, you're going to come to a flyer that's going to have all good information on it once it quits spinning. We just love technology when it doesn't work. Well, it didn't let me load it for some reason. Let's see here. You try one more time here. Here we go. So this has everything you need to know right now for seniors. You've got your to-do list again. We've got the link to how you order the basic package. This is the thing that you must purchase to participate. This is another link for Jostens, and that's where you can buy maybe some stuff that you might like, but you don't have to buy it. And trust me, some of it's expensive, and you need to decide as a family how much of that stuff you want to order, because you don't need all of that stuff to graduate. But that is there for you. It's also got Leesville stuff on it. Again, here's the graduation name confirmation form again. This is the link to the graduation, mid-year graduation link. I'm going to go ahead and click on that so everybody can see it. So we're not asking you to fill out a lot. It's pretty short. It would take you maybe 2 minutes. I mean, because basically, you know, your email, your name, how you spell your name, a phone number, your cell phone number, parent guardian phone number, parent guardian email address. We need to know, have you ordered your cap and gown? What honor societies are you in? And then what your plans are after you graduate, because this will help me help you if you need to take your exams in December, or if you need to take them with everybody else in January. So again, this is going to be on the main page of the school's website probably most of the year. We've got information here about yearbook items, and then we've got a great resource here to take you just to the senior page of the Student Services website. And we've got Dr. Huber, our webmaster, has got some great information on there, a college countdown, applying to college, all kind of things you need to know about getting through your senior year. So just wanted to show you all where that was. Now, I know Miss Failing has been looking really closely at the chat room. Is there any items there, Miss Failing, that we need to address, or that me and Miss Oxendine can answer?
I think that Ms. Oxendine just answered a question for Jacob about yearbook. Nobody has received yearbooks. They're receiving last year's yearbook, Jacob. This year's yearbook won't be published until the end of the year. And so it's one publication date. Yeah. What happened last year is there was an error in the publication, so they had to reprint them. And so you're probably seeing people getting last year's yearbook now. And then senior exams being exempt, that question if you have a C or above in the course, as long as it's not a state mandated test, then you can be exempted from it. If you have a D or an F, you have to take the exam. Or if you have an EOC or a CTE state exam that is required by the state, then you need to sit for those exams. I hope that answers that question. Anything else that you all wanted to ask of us before we say goodnight?
Thank you, Ms. Failing. I just wanted to reemphasize again the part about, graduating in December. And I've done this for 15 years now, helping people with that. So I will help you walk through it. I did want to point out one thing, that Wake Tech will be here on campus. I'm gonna share my screen again real quick, because I think it's good for people to see this. Because many of you are probably going to go to Wake Tech to start off college and not start full time. But we've got a really good college calendar on here. But I emphasize Wake Tech. This is the college visit calendar. We had 2 big visits today from UNC Charlotte and Appalachia. They were both full. You can see that. So Wake Tech is going to be here on, let me scroll down just a little bit more. They're going to be here on the 12th of October, which is next week. Right now we have 4 people signed up, and we have got 2 sessions on that day, so we can get as many people into the meeting as possible. And I emphasize that because the person that's coming can also talk about CCP, even, a lot more in depth than I would. So if you have questions about CCP, or for sure that you're going to go to Wake Tech full-time or through CCP, I would encourage you to sign up for that slot, one of those slots, to come and talk to the representative from Wake Tech. So I just wanted to point that out where that is. Again, that's on the main part of the school's website, under the Pride News, college visits, sign up information, and you just click on this link. Okay. I will stop sharing my screen and see if there's any other last minute questions or any other last comments from Mr. Solomon or Ms. Oxendine or Ms. Failing.
I just want to take a moment just to thank everybody once again for joining us this evening. I want to thank you, Mr. Green, Ms. Oxendine, and Ms. Failing for your hard work and dedication and trying to make sure that, we put together a program worthwhile for our prospective mid-year graduates. And just again, want to congratulate you all for getting to this point. But again, want to remind you, and I want you to pay close attention to what Mr. Green said, and that is, you got to finish. You got to finish. We're at the finish line, but we haven't crossed it yet. So continue doing the things that you need to do so that you can, in fact, get there. There seems to be one more question in the chat that just popped. Are meetings done with college reps in person only, or is there a virtual option?
Well, so far, most of the visits have been in person. The college reps are really excited about coming back to the building and meeting with the kids in person. I have contact information for all the people who have visited so far or who will visit. And I know, based on what I've experienced so far in the 5 or 6 visits we've already had, all of them are very willing to talk with people. Like the girl that came from Appalachian today, she said, I will video chat with you one-on-one if you want to. So for anybody who's a virtual student and you want to have some information, we won't have a meeting for everybody, but I could give you the personal contact and email address for the representative that did come or is going to come. And I know that they will be glad to talk with you and answer any questions that you might have for our virtual kids who aren't in the building.
Any other questions before we conclude for tonight? Going once, going twice. Are all hearts and minds clear? Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful night and take care. Thank you.